Breaking news here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. The Chiefs have traded for Ravens offensive tackle Orlando Brown Jr. We've talked about him quite a bit the past couple of months here on this channel because he did request a trade from Baltimore, citing wanting to play left tackle. Ronnie Stanley set to come back from injury, so that was not going to happen in Baltimore. And guess what? Brett Veach pulls the trigger on an Orlando Brown trade. He will be the left tackle in Kansas City. And hey, this offseason was all about rebuilding this offensive line to protect Patrick Mahomes, not only this year, but for the long term as well. And that is what Brett Veach has done. Here are the trade details. Orlando Brown and a second-round pick and a 2022 sixth come into Kansas City for the Chiefs' first-round pick this year, third-round pick, and fourth this year, plus a 2022 fifth-round pick. Someone did the trade value chart calculation on Twitter, and basically the Chiefs traded the number 38 overall pick for Orlando Brown Jr. That's pretty good if you're Brett Veach at the end of the day. Who won the trade? I think it's pretty clear. Type C for Chiefs, type R for Ravens. I know Brown requested a trade, and maybe that lowered his value, but Baltimore's trying to beat Kansas City. Guys, the Chiefs won this trade, and I'm not sure it's that close. Get your votes in. Type C for Chiefs or type R for Ravens. This is why you subscribe to the Kansas City Chiefs Report, because when the Chiefs make a move, we're going to break it down here on this channel. We'll either go live or we'll make, just a regular video, and that's why you hit that sub button, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Hit that sub button, turn on notifications, the latest Chiefs news, rumors. Hey, Kansas City still has 2 second-round draft picks. There's still a lot of potential in this NFL draft. We'll break it all down here on the Chiefs Report. So don't forget to subscribe, tell a friend, share that link below. It's youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Brett Veach strikes again. Look, there was a lot of, some weird takes out there about a month ago. Oh, Brett Veach can't seal the deal. He had Trent Williams. He was supposed to be a Chief, right? He went back to San Francisco. Brett Veach can't get it done. Melvin Ingram couldn't sign him after he visited, which, by the way, Ingram remains unsigned, so it's not like there's been a huge market out there. He missed on this guy. He did that. He did this. Maybe he's not the guy in Kansas City. Since then, Brett Veach has done a really good job, and now he has sealed up this offensive line. I mean, you're ready to go to battle now. You got Orlando Brown at left tackle. He's going to be here for the next decade. Joe Thuney, you gave him the bag. 5 years and $80 million. Austin Blythe, I think, is an upgrade from Austin Ryder. 1-year deal. Maybe you draft a center with one of those second-round picks for the future there. And you got competition on your right side. Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, he's back after sitting out last year and helping on the front line with COVID-19. Kyle Long brought in for competition. Mike Rimmers is back. Lucas Niang coming back after opting out of his rookie season. Video of him dropped recently. He looks to be in great shape. He's been training for what will be his first year in the NFL. You got depth, you got competition, and you've got a really, really good offensive line moving forward. It's tough when you say goodbye to guys like Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz, a pair of players who have done a lot for this franchise. And at the time, people were nervous, and somewhat rightfully so. But this organization had a plan, and Brett Veach executed it. And by the way, when Plan A didn't work with Trent Williams, he didn't panic. He got to Plan B. He signed Joe Thuney, and now he's got Orlando Brown as well. This is a great trade and a great offseason so far for Kansas City. I'm fired up just thinking about it. And guess what? This guy, he's pretty happy as well. Did you like the trade for Orlando Brown? Type Y for yes, type N if you're not a Chiefs fan. That's all I got to say on that one. Get your votes in. If you like the trade for Orlando Brown Jr., just type Y. We all love it. It's a great move. It's a great day to be a part of Chiefs Kingdom. Orlando Brown's going to anchor this offensive line for the next decade. This is what contenders do. This is what they do. And, some people are out there like, oh, I'd rather have the first-round pick. I'd rather not trade draft capital and be this aggressive. Aggressive teams are aggressive because they're ready to win right now. Sure, you could have gotten a guy like Liam Eichenberg in round 1 and maybe trade up for Christian Darrisaw, and maybe those guys become great players. We know what Orlando Brown is. This is an upper echelon offensive tackle. Now, I'm not going to say he's the best left tackle in the NFL. He's only played it 1 year this past year in Baltimore. He was a Pro Bowler. He was pretty good. I think there's a decent chance he ends up being better than Ronnie Stanley, who the Ravens stayed committed to because they paid him. This guy's 6'8", 345 pounds. He just plows people out in the open field in the running game as well. Like, this is a great player, guys, and he's 24 years old. I mean, I don't see how you could be displeased with this move if you are a Chiefs fan, and you got a second-round pick back as well? I mean, that is pretty freaking good for Kansas City, who can now fill some of these other needs in round 2 of the draft if they choose to do so. Think of some of the other moves, right? So you get Brown, which is the news of the day. You pay Joe Thuney the bag. Arguably the best guard in football, at least one of them, right? Maybe he's not Zach Martin, but he's up there right behind him and Quentin Nelson. Kyle Long, a guy who sat out last year, is supposed to be in good shape. If nothing else, a good locker room guy, good competition at right guard behind LDT, who probably will be the starter. Austin Blythe, who had a pretty good year last year as the center of the Los Angeles Rams. He's not an all-pro by any means, but this is a top 15 center in the NFL, and you got him for basically the vet's minimum. He's better than Austin Ryder, in my opinion. You got Lucas Niang, who you can view him as a free draft pick this year because he didn't even play last year. This offensive line is deep. The 5 guys that are going to start are going to be good, and Orlando Brown is the icing on the cake. That was the final move up front for Kansas City. Brett Veach had a plan, and he executed it very, very well. How hyped are you right now? You guys can tell I'm on cloud 9. This is a great move for Kansas City. Can you go a number higher than 100? Absolutely you can. Type 1,000 if you want to. How hyped are you after the Orlando Brown trade? I am absolutely fired up by this one. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to watch this team play. Like, even if it's preseason football, I don't care. I just want to watch Mahomes have time in the pocket, unlike he did in Super Bowl 55. I mean, man, you gotta. If you're Patrick Mahomes, I mean, you're feeling pretty good about this upcoming season. There's no doubt about that. Now, I did want to add this tidbit in as well as Orlando Brown. He is entering the final year of his rookie contract. The expectation, Kansas City is going to start negotiating immediately for a contract extension. That coming from Adam Schefter. So I would expect the deal gets done probably before the draft. So you kind of have some clarity there moving forward. And then you can start focusing, all right, what do we want to do with our draft picks? We want to trade down, trade up. How do we want to attack what picks we do have in this year's draft? This is not just a move for this year. When you trade for a 24-year-old offensive tackle, you're thinking next 5-10 years. And that is what Kansas City is going to do when it comes to Orlando Brown. I did want to update the updated draft needs for Kansas City because we dropped a video like an hour before this trade happened, and I was like, left tackle, leaps and bounds, the biggest need for Kansas City, and then they traded for Orlando Brown. Here's the updated list. I think edge is number 1. I think 1 through 3 is very close, though. You could use someone opposite of Frank Clark. You have some rotation guys like Michael Dana, Taco Charlton. Chris Jones may play some defensive end this year, but you need more help on the edge. Wide receiver, Sammy Watkins is gone. Do you trust McCole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson, and Byron Pringle? Can one of those guys emerge as a number 2 wide receiver? Maybe, but I do think this team will probably draft one. Cornerback, if you re-sign Bashaud Breeland, probably don't need to focus on one early on. If you don't, though, you may want to get one in this year's draft. Linebacker, hey, I don't think it's a majorly important position these days, but you could probably use another player there. And then center, Austin Blythe, he's one-year deal. We'll see if he becomes a long-term option after this year. If not, Landon Dickerson in round 2, redshirt type of season coming off the torn ACL. I think it could be an option for the Kansas City Chiefs. So what do you think? What is the biggest need for Kansas City entering the NFL draft? It's not left tackle anymore. It's definitely not that now that you've traded for Orlando Brown. Get your votes in. Let me know what you guys think on this one. And real quick, the updated draft picks for Kansas City. Round 2, number 58 overall. That's the pick you get from Baltimore in this trade. Then your own second-round pick. So 2 top 65 picks. That's still pretty good. You can move up if you want to. You don't have a third-round pick. That went to the Ravens. Number 144 overall. Remember, Kansas City had a comp 4th this year as well, so you've got that pick. 2 fifths because you got the comp 5th as well, 175, 181, and then a 6th-round pick. No 7th-round pick this year, but still, six draft picks. I mean, think about Seattle. Seattle's got 3 picks. You just traded for Orlando Brown, and you still got 6 picks. That's pretty good if you're Kansas City.